Today is the day, San Francisco 49ers faithful. What is going on? It's your boy Breezie, and this is the Wayne Breezie Show. Today, we are diving into something that every single 49ers fan has been talking about: free agency. It is the legal tampering period where teams can negotiate deals over the next 2 days before the new league year begins. These aren't rumors, not smoke, not clickbait. Today, we're looking at realistic targets the 49ers could pursue this offseason. I built my Breezy free agency board, big board, and we're going through my top 10 targets that could help this team get back to the Super Bowl. I got Tony in the building. Faithful, some of these names are going to surprise you. So stick around, smash that like button. Tony, what's going on, man? Free agency frenzy is officially going on right now, bro.
It's here, man. People are flying off the board right now. Quarterbacks, pass rushers, receivers. It's interesting. The Niners, of course, didn't do nothing yet. They're dealing with a problem with their own with the whole Trent Williams situation. So we're gonna see what comes out for the rest of the day. That started at 12, and we're what, an hour and 4 minutes in.
Yeah. Before we get into today's show, I do want to talk a little bit about Trent Williams. Let's spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Before I do that, chat, I got a question for you. Shout out to the Breezie Bunch crew. I see you guys in the building early. Love you so much. All right, which position should the 49ers prioritize in free agency? That's my question for you. Which position should they prioritize in free agency? Edge, wide receiver, cornerback, or offensive line? Drop it in the chat. Tony, let's talk about this Trent Williams situation just real quick. The money, $32 million, he's supposed to get this year. It's a $38 million cap hit. It's a $6 million difference if the Niners was to eat it, whatever. How is this not looking good for the San Francisco 49ers retaining Trent unless they come to some type of agreement, right?
Yeah, it's not looking good. Both sides are at a stalemate. The rumors of trading just came out at 12 o'clock on the dot when free agency started.
Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they gotta make a decision. It seems like there's a pattern with Trent Williams. He got one massive extension when he was about to sign with the Chiefs. Kyle put the kibosh to that, gave him the money, and he got, I think, 2 more extension / restructure deals since he's been here. It seems like it's an ongoing pattern. Every year and a half when the guarantees run out, he does this. Trent Williams is a phenomenal tackle. Trent Williams is 38 years old. I think Trent Williams still has some fuel in the tank, but the Niners are at a point right now where they need to make a decision. All right. They're worried about dealing with Trent Williams right now as people are coming off the board to try to improve this team. So it's kind of like, all right, listen, if he doesn't want to be here and he wants to be paid that much money, you need to make a decision. You can't prolong this and keep stretching it out. A decision needs to be made. And that's what it comes down to. Either he wants to be here and you give him what he wants, or option B, you move him for what you can get for him. And there is a market for him. There's rumors of Kansas City and the Houston Texans. Texans don't surprise me because he probably wants to be closer to home. So that's where I'm at. They're in a tough spot right now, but there is like 2 players right now that, could be a plug and play type situation. Are they better than him? No, but you have options and you can't wait and say, okay, well, let's try this a little bit longer, and bang, your options are gone. And now you're relying on a rookie to come in and play left tackle. Have they done it before? Yes. They traded Trent Brown. They drafted Mike McGlinchey. But I mean, Trent Brown's no Trent Williams. Let's be straight. But they have shown the tendency when they're ready, they will move off.
Yeah, like you said, there are a couple of options. The Niners could look to trade him. You hear the reports out there saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to, jump on this as soon as they can. But you know what? The Niners got a price. And so not everybody's going to be willing to pay the 49ers price. They're not going to move Trent Williams for 5th or 6th or 7th round pick. I guarantee you they're going to be looking to get top priority pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll probably start at that 1st round pick from the Chiefs and see how that pans out. for a guy like Trent Williams. I'm just the type of person where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Niners need to figure this out. They need to put their big boy pants on, get the deal done. You're talking about a left tackle. You're not talking about a right tackle. So let's be clear. You're also talking about an elite all-pro left tackle. You're not talking about just a regular serviceable left tackle. And we've seen what other teams like the Chiefs, if you want to talk about the Chiefs, have done when they try to just get a serviceable left tackle to come in and protect Patrick Mahomes. Look where he is. So I will say this. They probably need to figure out sooner rather than later what they're going to do with Trent Williams. If they do decide to move on from Trent Williams, well, enter the draft, and they need to figure out how to get one of those top 2-3 tackles in this draft. They can't look deeper down the line and say, oh, I'm going to get this guy. Oh, no, you need to get premier quality talent, and it sounds like the Niners are going to have to move up in round 1 to get that. All right. So that's the Trent Williams. Now let's start this show off, man, with my Breezy big board. And we're going to start with the pass rush. Now, just a quick, all yesterday I was, working on this, and there's some typos here because there's a couple of receivers out there that aren't in the secondary. I did have Montaric Brown on here. He did get signed on today, extended by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he's going to be removed from this big board. But this is what we're going to be talking about today. Some of the players we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to address the trenches. We're going to address the edge. We're going to address the wide receivers. We're going to address the secondary, Tony, on today's episode. I want to start with the pass rush because from a defensive standpoint, I feel like if you fix up front, it'll help the back end a lot, right? It'll help the back. So if you get up front taken care of, you already drafted the defensive tackles for the future or of the future. Now it's time to go out and get Nick Bosa some help on the outside. I know you got Bryce Huff there, but we don't know what the Niners are going to do with his contract as well, because he's up to do $17 million this year, and the Niners may figure out a way how to move on from that. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the pass rush. My first player up is who, the most expensive player probably in free agency, Trey Hendrickson. These are his last season stats. I know a lot of people are up and down on Trey because he didn't perform well last year. 4 sacks, 16 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. Also dealt with the back injury. But Tony, I want you to talk about the pros and cons of getting a guy like Trey Hendrickson, not necessarily from a monetary standpoint, because I feel like the Niners can figure out how to make money work. I think that's what we do best. But this could be realistic. It's going to be expensive. Let's talk about what Trey Hendrickson would do for the San Francisco 49ers.
What he would do, listen, it's all about matching to Bosa, getting the guy opposite of Bosa. We spoke about it for years, ever since Bosa's been here. I think last year they were in on him, but the injury happened. It was a back/core injury, I think it was. So with that being said, my question is this: with Raheem Morris coming into San Francisco, is he going to be a fit for this defensive front? Right. So the more traditional last year, they ran the 4 down lineman with the wide 9 alignment. I'm sure Raheem Morris could figure out a way to get this guy in the field. If healthy, his physicals and all that medicals pass, he can contribute and make this defensive front better. Yes, but the Niners need to start trending to the younger, faster, athletic, bigger, whatever you want to do. But they need to get away from old. They're an older team. They're the oldest team in the league. I understand why, because you got an old long snapper, old punter. You got Trent Williams, McCaffrey, all these guys. But they need to becoming younger and more athletic. And with the 5-man front, is he the best fit at the price point that he's asking for? We don't know. If it's a true 4 down lineman, yeah, he could help. But we don't know what Raheem Morris's game plan is. Wow. And so with that being said, I kind of feel that I think they have their price where they would like to have him at. And like the Niners do it all year. Okay. This is where we're at. Yes, no, you don't want it. Okay, bye. See you later. They let him go. So with that being said, I like him as a player. The medicals are very crucial in this situation. And it comes down to whether Raheem Morris feels he is a scheme fit, and they're going to get the most bang for their buck and what they're investing into him out this season and in this defense.
When he's healthy, he plays with relentless energy. So let me just put that out there. He's also a
100%.
matchup nightmare. You have to pick their poison. I'd rather have him on this team than not have him on this team for the simple fact that now who you going to double? You're going to double Bosa? You're going to double Hendrickson? That means now your interior guys can probably eat a little bit better too, like trying to rush the passer when you get a guy like this. And Tony, I want to add to what you said. Why can't they get younger in the draft? Why can't they get a stud premier defensive end, pair him up with Nick Bosa, go in the draft, get those 3-4 outside linebackers with the speed, guys like Derek Moore, Adame Tucker out of Western Michigan. I mean, Cassius Howell, he can get around off the end. I don't care about his short arms. He can get around them. So they still can address that. I think like you said, we don't know, but I do believe that Morris is going to show multiple fronts. That's a word you used a lot, and I think that is the key. That's going to be the key to this defense. I'd rather have the best pieces for multiple defensive fronts than not have the best pieces for multiple defensive fronts. And you saw Rashawn Gary earlier today go to the Dallas Cowboys, right? Or where did he go? Yep, to the Cowboys.
Dallas trade.
I don't think they're going to be in on Trey Hendrickson anymore. Price tag might have been a little bit too high. This might be too rich for the 49ers blood, but we'll see what happens. Faithful, I got a question for you in the live chat. You ready? Should or would you sign for Hendrickson? Tony told us about his age. You told us about his medical history. We saw his production last year. You can chalk that year up to injuries, and I thought that year was also chalked up to not – remember, he didn't come into camp on time because they had the contract negotiations and stuff like that, so he never really got in swing. And then they what did they do? They gave him that last – they restructured his contract, gave him the guarantees for that one last year, and you knew he was good as gone. We tried to trade for him last year. Would you guys sign Hendrickson? Put it inside the chat. I'm going to get that pulled up for sure. Hendrickson, yes or no? Super simple. All right, Tony, let's get to our next guy on the docket. All right, now, I know people aren't going to want to talk about Bosa, but we were just talking about another Bosa, and I know this Bosa, to me, was relatively healthy this past season. He had 5 sacks, but he had several forced fumbles. His stats were pretty good. 9 tackles for a loss. He'll be situational because he's an older player. It doesn't have to be your start bookend or whatever like that. So let's talk a little bit about Joey Bosa. He'll get to play with his brother. All right. I think this would instantly become one of the best pass rushing duos in football. Can you imagine Bosa on the inside on the same side as Joey Bosa on the outside? I should have said Nick first, right? Can you imagine the stunt action? Tony, I see you laughing, so I can't wait to get your take on this. So I'm just curious. I mean, it would probably be a cheaper deal. All right. We're getting some yeses on the Hendrickson too. So what talk about Joey, man. Like Niners, Joey, 1-year deal.
Listen, it's been rumored that allegedly Nick wants to play with his brother. They tried it last year. He went for the money and went to Buffalo. I don't know if the Niners made a official offer. I mean, if the price is right on a 1-year deal, and I'm going to be clear with this, right? I could see Joey coming here on a 1-year deal. I can't see Hendrickson coming on a 1-year deal. I think Hendrickson's looking for a little bit longer term, not 5-6 years. I think maybe 3 years he's looking at. I don't think San Francisco wants to go that route. I do see an opportunity where Joey Bosa could come here on a 1-year deal to finally play with Nick. It's something that they've been talking about, dreaming about as kids growing up. I think he could solidify it. And I don't think, like, the way I look at Joey Bosa is not going to be, okay, that's the guy that we're going to start every play opposite of Nick Bosa. I agree with you with more of a situational role, him coming in on passing situations or certain fronts that they want to go, like a NASCAR front where he could slide in or Nick could slide in, one or the other, where they show versatility of the defense in like 3rd and long situations. I could see that. And then, addressing the draft as well. But I just don't see them going big on an edge over 30 years old. And that's why I think Hendrickson might be alleviated at the pitcher, and Bosa could be an option.
He could be an option. I like you're stuck on this age thing, and that's pretty good, right? So we won't dive deep into those guys, but a couple of the guys that are on the younger side, what's the kid Joseph Adai? I think that's his name. I can't remember his name. He's gone. Um, Boye Mafe would be a good name, I think, if you're going to go under
Absolutely.
30.
Absolutely.
There's some under 30 players without high production, but they fit under that age where they got the juice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what you're asking for, right? They won't be matchup nightmares. They'll still be situational, in my opinion, but they got the juice. I really have Boye Mafe really high on my list. There is a guy that would have probably fit perfectly on his defense, but he got signed to the Panthers. Did you see that? Phillips, man. Jalen Phillips. Yeah.
And what's his name? Someone we spoke about before. He just went to the Jets. The Packers defensive end, Kingsley
Ignagbari went to the Jets?
Yeah.
Wow. What a live show. God dang it. Real reactions.
But dang. I agree with you. Mafe, definitely. Ebiketie from Atlanta is another guy they could look at. He's
a little older though. He's been in the league. This going on season 9, right?
He's 28, I believe. 28.
Yeah, so I mean, that's like 1 year younger than Hendrickson.
No, Hendrickson's 31, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I think Hendrickson's 31. But I mean, whatever. Like I think the Niners are at a point with this roster. They have to start converting. You can't keep adding old pieces and you got to start converting your roster. And is this the offseason?
28. Ebiketie. He'll be 28. He's 27 right now.
Okay, so like
he just turned 27, too, right? So in January he just turned 27. So this will be a good piece.
He played
under Raheem Morris. Yeah,
that's so that could be a perfect scenario where you bring someone like him and then you bring in Bosa and platoon him, like right, or you do Bosa in a draft pick or something like that. I don't know. I just it's crazy. They need to make a decision on this roster, whether they push forward and try to win, or they sit back and say, let's start reconfiguring.
I still think they still need the veteran. They still need a veteran presence to help. We got a lot of young players, so we still need the vet presence, in my opinion. Is Bosa's a vet, but I don't get I don't know. Something about Bosa I don't get. I feel like, not saying he's selfish, but his focus is literally it's quiet. It's on him.
He's quiet.
And he think about it like this. Bosa's focus this year is going to be him getting back to his level of play, like exceeding his level of play, because he's coming off the injury. So you can go young guys, because I like one of the young guys we got. What's his name? Sam Okuano.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I don't know if he has enough juice, but he's definitely that tweener. He's a restricted free agent, and I like the simple fact that he was better than Yetur Gross-Matos, the free agent that we paid
100%,
for.
100%.
Glad his ass is gone. Jeez. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just glad. All right, I got one more edge rusher for you, Tony. But before I do that, let me ask the chat. Would y'all take Joey Bosa in red and gold? I know a lot of people are like, no, he too old. Oscar says Bosa's not a leader. I think that's what we were alluding to. Like, he just show up and do his job. That's Nick. We're gonna get 2 Bosas that do the same damn thing if he comes. Perk, what's going on, baby? You know what? I think I would take Joey. I think I would take Joey. Situational. He can still get to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Still a lot of old players that are producing in this league. I mean, Khalil Mack got a 1-year deal worth some bread. Like, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a 1-year deal. It's not a 3-year deal. You know, so it's like, okay, we're going to try this for 1 year, and we'll see what it looks like. We'll reassess it halfway or 3/4 through the year. We could talk extension if it works, right?
John said can't have both on the IR. Look, Derek says he'll take Joey over Trey. Would you take Joey Bosa over Trey because of the 1-year deal?
Yes.
Okay.
I would take him specifically for contract purposes, structure of contracts. It's tough for me to say, all right, let's go all in on And I'm not knocking him, but I just think this roster, I just don't know where they're at in their game plan and their behind closed doors where they see this roster. This whole crap with Trent and everything that's going on, rumors flying a week ago about Fred Warner. You don't know what they're thinking.
You hear about
right?
the rumors about them trading him to the Giants?
Yeah, it could be all bull. It could be 100% bull. But there's going to come a point in time where the Band-Aid needs to be ripped off, and you need to start saying, okay, this isn't the team. We got to start making moves. And the question is it now? Or is it next season? Because I'm telling you now, right now, based off of this, what we've seen today, it's not looking good with all these other teams making moves. Wayne, just give me 1 sec. I got to answer this call.
No problem. Just go on mute. All right, everybody. Perk Dog in the building with our first super chat contribution. It's for you, Perk. Woo!
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Let's go. All right, man. Perk says at work, but just want to show my brother some love. 100. What up, Faithfuls and Tony? Much love. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much for the super chat. Definitely thank you for the super chat. Now, look, Oscar, if Joey comes in for around a 1 year with a 2-year team option, the way you create these contracts off the top of your dome is a gift, right? 2 years, that's a lot of money though. You don't think 2 years, $27.5 million with a $10 million signing bonus. I like the signing bonus because that's the upfront. Okay, I could dig this. I think this will be a great deal. I think Bosa would add great value to the team. They need a solid, proven pass rusher. I'm all for going to get the young guy, and like I said, man, between Arnold Ebiketie or Boye Mafe, those are kind of like two of the top young guys that I would go after. Or they could trade for Kayvon Thibodeau, but I'm not giving up more than a fourth if they're going to address the pass rush. Let me know what you think about that, guys. But I see a lot of people said a few people said they'll take Joey Bosa in red and gold. Interesting. And I know a lot of people aren't. Those that aren't watching, they won't take Joey Bosa. I got one more edge rusher I definitely want to talk about, man. Let me get the graphic ready. Bradley Chubb. Yeah, no, this is my dog right here because I still think coming off of that 2024 season-ending injury, coming back in 2025, producing 8.5 sacks, 47 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, I think is a phenomenal return coming off of an injured plagued season in 2024. I thought he played really well. Miami was the shits and giggles in 2025. They just weren't a good team, and he still was able to produce. Here's the one thing I know Bradley Chubb, he fits the wide 9. He will kind of be that bookend that you need on the football field, and you take him off the field, but he packs the power and speed. The power-speed ratio combo is perfect in what the San Francisco 49ers need. I can't wait to get Tony's take on Bradley Chubb. Now, while Tony is still on the phone, guys, let's talk about Bradley Chubb, man. Let me know in the chat, would you guys accept or want to go after and sign a guy like Chubb on kind of like a same year to, what if they do the same type of deal that Oscar just presented, you know what I'm saying, for Joey Bosa, all right? You do that 1 year deal with the 2-year team option up to maybe $30 million, probably got to up the million a little bit. Oscar, work that deal out for me in the chat and then post that deal in the chat. You know what I'm saying? With the maybe a $15 million signing bonus for a guy like Bradley Chubb. So Bradley Chubb's a little younger than Joey, and I think he packs. I think he has a little bit more juice in him at this point. And even though he'll be based down, situational, or whatever, how they choose to use him, I think he'll fit the scheme perfectly, even in the multiple fronts. I think he'll fit the scheme in the multiple fronts. The key this year to the pass rush, in my opinion, is having multiple guys at multiple times doing multiple things. I want it to be like the never-ending story. This pass rusher goes in, comes out. Next one goes in, comes out. Next one goes in. Like, it just needs to be a revolving door, and the production and a productivity, everything needs to be at a high pace, high level, speed, power, bang, bang, bang. And that way you're just working in the young guys. I think free agency they need to address, and they do it every year. Either they're going to trade for a player at some point, you know what I'm saying? They traded for Bryce Huff last year, or they're going to look to sign a guy in free agency. So my three guys, Trey Hendrickson, Bradley Chubb, who's my second one? Joey Bosa. Those would be three top tier edge targets I think that the 49ers need to go after. And if they don't, I can see them trading. All right. Niner Faithful says yes to Chubb. We need sacks. And that is the key. Why we need production. We need production. Boss in the building. Chubb would be a nice vet. Peace, Breezy. And linebacker free agents. Any linebacker free agents out there you like? I think Trayvon Edmonds will fit. I don't have any linebackers in my top 10 top 10 targets, but I think that's okay. Trayvon Edmonds would fit, and Devin Lloyd, who is a free agent as well. I think those would be two linebackers that I would go after. Boss has a question about linebackers. Any linebacker free agents, Tony, you like out there?
Give me 1 second. Let me pull up my little list. I have it on the side here.
Yep, Chubb only 29.
All right, so you have.
It sounds like he's been in the league for years, right? No, go ahead, Tony.
You have like the guy. I mean, again, these are people that I'm naming off that I think could fit with this defense the way it is right now. There's clearly, I don't see any true like big, unless you're talking about Edmonds, like you brought up. I heard it like as I was on the phone, to replace a Fred Warner if they decide to move off of him. I hope they don't. Yeah. But whatever. Chanel from Kansas City.
Chanel. Yep. Free agent.
Willie Gay from Miami. Ellis from Atlanta, who played with Morris.
Caden Ellis.
So I mean, there's not
older
a lot,
guy though.
But again, I'm looking at pieces to work with the defense that's here right now, not to come in and like redo it. If they're talking about revamping it, you're talking about drafting.
Yeah.
100%. In my opinion.
I think they bring back I mean, it's tough because Fred's the mic. Do they need Eric Kendricks as a mic? Can he play weak side? Can he play the strong side? Those aren't his fortes.
Kendricks could play the mic. I mean,
no, Kendricks plays the mic, but that's my point. Yeah. You already got Fred at the mic. I thought Tremont was a weak side linebacker, but thought he would play the weak side. So like that's my thing. Like, which linebackers are going to fit in this particular type of regime? So it's going to be tough, but I still think they address the linebackers. If they don't sign one in free agency, what about bringing Greenlaw back?
It's funny you say that because the original report with Fred Warner was the 49ers would consider if Dre Greenlaw became available. So essentially, see, this whole report with Fred Warner really like screwed me up mentally because since Fred Warner's been here, you never heard a peep of him getting traded through his negotiations, his contract extensions, anything. You never heard Fred Warner on the block of being potentially moved or considered. Now, the report came out from the guy in this area, the New Jersey, New York area, Art Stapleton, someone I dealt with in high school playing and coaching. I interviewed with him several times as a player and coach. And then he was a straight shooter. So when I saw this report came up, I DM'd him. He didn't answer, but I DM'd him to try to get some, like, more clear picture of his tweet. But when he came up specifically with the plan in order to execute the trade, I was like, wait a second. And the thing was, Dre Greenlaw always wanted to have a defense, right? He tried to go to Denver to take the Mike role there and take the defense and be the leader of the defense. And when he said that, I was like, well, maybe it's real, maybe it's legit. But bringing Dre Greenlaw back, you could. But he went to Denver, and how many games did he miss in Denver, right? That was the whole thing. The Niners didn't want to give him that injuries, type of money.
Man. Yeah.
The injuries it's injuries is just a continuous problem with this.
It's got to be 1-year deals for me. And the Niners can work several 1-year deals. This could be the year where they do several 1-year deal free agents. And they can go after those guys that are coming off of injuries, that have dealt with injuries. Now, like you said, that would probably be their offer. That doesn't mean that a player will take it, but depending on that guaranteed money on that 1 year deal, that'll swoo a player. Trey Hendrickson may be on a 1-2 year type of deal situation. Going back to Dre Greenlaw, he's coming off of injuries, didn't play a lot of games. The Niners already know he'll be a good fit here. We know that, but he just didn't play a lot of football last year. So for him this year, if he's fully healthy, so we'll see. That would be the only guy I want. I'm gonna be honest with you. He is bring Greenlaw back if possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Tony, we're gonna flip the script, man. We got to get to the secondary, right? I want to talk a little bit about the secondary. I got a couple of targets in the secondary. I got a secondary. I got a safety, and I got a corner that I think the San Francisco 49ers should target. And you know what? Bump the secondary. Let's go with the defense. We'll get to the secondary next. Talk about John Franklin Myers. Reports out there saying that the Niners are heavily interested, $1 million per year type of deal. Do you think the Niners times every year, this is what he does? Like those are his numbers. He would be an immediate force up front, and he'll allow you to allow those young players to develop if they can break the rotation, get on the football field. So what are your thoughts on John Franklin Myers and the Niners? We're going to talk about a couple of trench players. He's a trench player. What are your thoughts on this guy?
I like John Franklin Myers. He's a pass rush player that they've been looking to find since they traded DeForest Buckner. He's a pass rushing three. He's an individual that I think could play. But again, what are we talking about? 20 million plus. How old is he?
Stand by.
27, 28, I believe.
Let's see. He is 29.
29. This ain't going to be a 1-year deal. I can tell you that. It's going to be at least 3 to 4 years. And if that's the case, you got to ask yourself, because when they do these contracts, Wayne, they pay them for how they think they're going to fit and how they think they're going to perform.
Yeah,
not what you did.
Correct. It's all of what we think you're going to be able to do. Right.
Yes. So can he sustain that for 3-4 years?
See, my theory is he can, because his consistency every year he's played in the league, he's averaged around 7 sacks, right? Like, so if he's getting you 7 sacks and his average is 7 sacks, and you're seeing 7.9, 7.8, 7.3, like if you're seeing that he's a 7 sack guy, opposed to like when they went after Javon Hargrave, where he had 3, 2, 10, right? Like that was an outlier. And then he comes in here and he can't get right. Couldn't even get healthy. You know what I'm saying? And this dude is relatively healthy, you know? So played on 2 teams, Rams, played for the Broncos. I mean, and now the Jets. And so if he's healthy, his consistency is letting me know that he would be a good fit or a good piece for the San Francisco 49ers, right? Because of his consistency throughout the years. Let's stick with the trenches. Let's talk about offensive line, because the Niners' biggest hole, it ain't on the offensive line. It's not the left tackle. It's not the center. It's not the right tackle. It's not the right guard. It's the left guard. Right now, currently, you got penciled in playing guard, ladies and gentlemen, either Nick Zakelj or Connor Colby. I'm going to leave it at that. Isaac Seumalo, 15 pressures he allowed, 3 sacks, 1 quarterback hit last year. And that's with a dancing around, what's their quarterback name? Justin Fields. And well, he wasn't there anymore, but not Fields. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So let's talk about this guy and how he fits the San Francisco 49ers. Should the Niners be all in on trying to get a serviceable left guard in here to play? Because right now we know that guard is going to be Ben Barch by the end of the day.
Pass rushers, right? We had 20 sacks last year. League low, barely got 20 sacks. And now you're talking about putting a guy that plays 1 game and he's out for 6 and then comes back for 1 and out for the rest of the year. So, again, they need stability. They need guys that could play, that could be healthy, that could perform at a high level. My game plan for this team, cheaper, younger. You want that, but you also got to say, okay, listen, you would go veteran. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with Trent Williams, but you want to put a veteran in there, especially if Trent Williams isn't here. You definitely want a veteran. You don't want two rookies on that side. So if Trent's here, you want a veteran. If he's not here, you still want a veteran, because I think it solidifies the left side of the line with Trent, and it also helps Jake Brendel as a center, because that's another issue that they refuse to address.
Now, center. I said hole. Hold on. Let me be clear. I used two different words. I said the biggest hole was on the offensive line was the guard spot. I didn't say the biggest weakness. I didn't say the biggest weakness. Now,
no, I'm saying it. I'm saying
no, because Quest for Sixes, Breezie, center is definitely as well. Center is not a hole. It's filled. It's just not good filling, right? I'm not sure I'm not high on the Brendel term. Like, he's just not great at the center position. I don't give a what PFF says about his run blocking or whatever. He just looks lost. And when you look lost, that don't work for me. Now, this guy I think will come in. The Niners need a Laken Tomlinson back. They need that type of synergy back on the offensive line, and they got to get a veteran in here. The only issue is, Tony, what's the guard today that just got paid? Like there was a guards again. Who?
John Simpson.
Simpson. He just got paid. Yeah. So does that mean the market for the guards are going to be expensive?
The market's expensive to begin with. I mean, these people are throwing money around like it's water. Like, I don't know. I wish I could have been a football player, but it's these guys are just throwing money around. It is what it is. It's not my money. It's the league. The cap goes up by $20 million every year. So what's the difference? These people are making money hand over fist. You can't go to a game for under $500. So what the hell? So you got to I don't even know what to say, Wayne. Like, teams are spending, but the Niners aren't.
All right, so
teams are filling their holes, but the Niners aren't. So it's like,
right. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. We just slow as molasses to everything, bro.
You see the Rams secondary? Like,
I'm not even talking about the Rams. Mother F the Rams. The Rams. And any other team. I'm happy Kenneth Walker's out of NFC West. I'll leave it at that. But mother the Rams. I can't stand the Rams. But you know what? It's Kyle Shanahan, man. We could blame John Lynch all we want. This is Kyle. Kyle is doing something that we don't know. I will say this. If the Ravens just paid their guard that astronomical amount of money, this is good news, right? Because let's talk about the trenches. We talked about the defensive line. We said, let's go get this Franklin Myers guy. We said we could get a guard, serviceable guard, in Isaac Seumalo, But we already know the biggest weakness is the center position. And if the Ravens just spent $80 billion on a guard, there's no way they're bringing back Tyler Lindenbaum, right? Right? I mean, am I crazy?
I see where you're going with it, but I don't see the Niners spending that money on that position.
Come on. They got to spend it. If he's all right, let me ask
you. Listen, I grew up in the days, you're there too, because we're almost the same age. I remember free agency, you'd see every 5 minutes, Niners signed this one, Niners signed this one, Niners signed, like, the Niners spent money under Eddie DeBartolo. Like, the year they went to the Super Bowl in 1994 to get them over the hump. Jesus God, it was like the Hall of Fame / All-Star game.
He fronted that whole bill, bro. That's the cap. That's when the cap happened. The cap happened after that Super Bowl.
You got to be in it to win it. You can't sit and watch everyone get better while you're saying, we did our due diligence. Yeah, we were in it. You bullshit, you were in it. You heard the number and you ran. Come on.
If we got like $35, $45 million or something like that to spend right now, 60, I don't know. Whatever the number is weird, right? If I could spend my money, if I can address one position, I know I love the pass rush. Don't get it twisted. There's just tons of them in the draft, though. Tons of them, right? Find a guy. Trade for a guy, right? I'm going to sign Tyler Lindenbaum. I think Kyle, center.
I'm with you. I'm
Right.
100% with you. I agree with you 100%. I do.
Jack said they effing cheap.
Right?
They are cheap. It's not even the Niners being cheap. This is my issue with Jed York. And I told y'all that this motherfucker put a ban on the checkbook or something. Like he put a limit. You know you get a black card, but you can't have a limit on a black card. Why you got a black card? The whole point of having a black card is because it don't got a limit. I think he put the limit on this team because John missed on some free agents.
This is the thing. Look what Boats 1980 said. That's it.
This?
See that? That's the problem.
Why can't you do
why
both?
That's the problem?
No, but why
deals.
Can't you do both? Why can't you think about the cap space headed into next year? But why can't you and still go all in on trying to make this year a Super Bowl contending team? Why can't you do both?
I don't know if they want to.
They have to. That's the new football.
I agree with you. I don't know if Jed York wants to pay all the dead money of all the screwed up contracts they had and play cash out.
It's only $26 million, 29, maybe even 30 million in dead money right now. I know.
Yeah, what did he pay last year?
First of all, that's a lot of money.
What did he pay last year, bro?
Doesn't matter. You're the owner. These are the bills you got to. This is what you got to do.
I'm with it.
This is what owner not paying dead money?
An owner that prioritizes soccer over football. I don't know.
Are we taking it there? We taking shots at Jed York. Jed York shots.
Honestly, I don't think it's Jed. I really don't think it's Jed. I think it's Parag. I think Parag has the final say.
Well, fire his ass. He got to go. He's got to go. The reason why I say it's Jed is because he still got to give the okay. And I get it. He trusts his money guy. He trusts whatever his title is, Parag Marathe.
Well,
which
your plan just went to the shitter.
Break it, Tony.
Tyler Lindenbaum to the Raiders on 3 years, $81 million.
They could suck my.
That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money. That's more than $25 million a year,
bro. Do you know that the issue with the Niners' offensive line is the center, bro?
There's no way in hell they're doing that.
That lets me know Trent Williams isn't going anywhere. That's what that's letting me know. Right there. Tony don't like that, but that is letting me know that Trent Williams isn't going anywhere. I can tell you that right now. Silent with the super chat.
Here comes the money.
He says defensive tackle over defensive end, pocket crusher, greater than an edge rusher. Bro, or edge. Yeah, I'm gonna use rusher because that sounds good. Crusher and rusher. We need a Chris Jones. We still talk about the trenches. No comment.
Just as we started talking about him, he saw.
I had a dream, man. It was all a dream. What was that deal again?
3 years, 80. Hold on.
God.
It's over $25 million a year.
Well,
hold on. Let me get to it.
I'm gonna need Jake Brenner to put his big boy pants on, bro. Because
3 years, $81 million with 60 guaranteed.
He gonna have to go through a whole nother year of the faithful. Jake Brenner got to go through a whole new year of the faithful. Just, I told y'all, Tyler. I told y'all Jake Brenner was gonna be the guy. There's only one hole that needed to be filled on that offensive line. Isaac Seumalo. They better go out there and get him, man. I'm done with the trenches. I don't want to talk about the trenches no more. I'm done. My question to y'all was, should we upgrade the offensive line? Should the 49ers upgrade the offensive line? Not, we know we need to, but should the Niners do it is the question to everybody out there. Tony, I'm sure you saying yes. I'm saying hell yes. But are the 49ers saying yes? That's the question.
Sorry.
Nah, dang. Wow. Well, you get live reactions on the live show when there's live stuff happening. God Dang, that's a good load. That's a lot of money. All right, now let's get to the secondary, Tony. I want to talk about the secondary a little bit because I don't think the Niners are going to address the secondary because they invested several draft picks into the secondary over the past few drafts, especially at the safety position. But all of those safeties are like the same. And so here's a guy that I think the San Francisco 49ers should target. He's a potential ball hawk type of a safety. 41 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 tackle for a loss. Didn't have any interceptions last season with the Jets. Played a lot better when he was in Jacksonville. All right, a lot better when he was in Jacksonville. He's a playmaker in the backfield. He's a ball hawk type of safety, and he brings speed. 4.33 speed, I believe. 4.33, Tony. Let's talk about Mr. Cisco, not the drink, not the dude with the platinum hair. Let's talk about Cisco. I know we grew up in the same era if you know who Cisco is, bro. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just watching this shit that's coming in right now.
Nah, it's all love, man. How you feel about them adding a guy like Andre Cisco to the secondary, man?
You're adding one hell of an athlete, I'll tell you that. Yeah. You know, I mean, listen.
Do you see it happening, though?
I don't know, because they're not doing anything right now. I mean, I don't know what their plan is, but they do need an influx of speed, right? They need speed. They need to become younger, faster. They need it because – bro, that team last year had to be. I don't. Obviously, they were the slowest team in the league, but there's no speed on that team.
They got Siegel 4.36 speed, and then Mustafa's 4.42, 4.4 something, and that's it. I don't even think our cornerbacks are fast. Now that I think about it,
no, they're average. I mean. I think Demo's a high 4.4. I think Green might be a low 4.4. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, Stout, I think, is pretty fast. I think Upton Stout timed pretty well at the Combine last year. But, again, look at the game that they played last year versus, they had Kendricks, who's slow. Hollow, who's slow. And then, I don't know, whatever. It's like I don't know.
It's tough, man. He ran a 4.44. Stout.
Go ahead. I gotta stop.
Stout ran a 4.44.
Okay.
So 1.51 split, 4.4, 4 vertical jump, 37.5, broad 10.8. He had a 4.29 shuttle, and he bench pressed 21 in the bench, 21 reps in the bench. So he's a freak of an athlete, short dude, but plays big. Like that's who Stout is. That's why I wouldn't mind going after. I know the Niners don't mind taking chances on guys without the height when their athleticism is kind of like through the roof. Like, you know, they got some type of athleticism. Yeah. So D'Angelo Pons is somebody I got my eye on that they could target in the draft. But I think speed is right? Like, you know, I feel like we got to get through the speed. We got to figure out how to get faster, but also how to get better. Speed isn't everything. We need a guy that can cover and has range in that secondary, especially on the safety, especially we're going to play a lot of single high safety in this Raheem Morris defense, bro. Mm-hmm. Tell me which guy on this roster currently is a single high safety other than Siegel, which I think he plays better in the box.
No one has the speed to play single high.
Wow.
And it's their own fault. What do? They go out and draft two safeties that are the same safety.
Same safety.
Like, what are you doing?
Mustafa and Jair Brown. I know.
John said I'm unraveling. It's not unraveling, John. It's very, very, very frustrating. It really is. Like, I was all hyped. We got about just under 50 million in cap space. Are they going to try to make moves to compete with Seattle? Man, they ain't doing nothing, bro.
They compete with themselves at this point, man. We about to go back out there with some grandpas and grandmamas and going to try to blame it on the space station that we connected next to or something like that. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yeah. We get younger, man. We get a little healthier. We don't have to worry about so many injuries, man. Got to get these young guys on the football field. I'm with you on that. God dang. So I like Andre Cisco, man. I think He'll be not super expensive. There's the guy from the Colts too, Nick Cross. I think that'd be another good prospect that you can look into. If you're looking for that single high type of safety, we'll see what happens. Yo, let's talk about freaking a cornerback. They talked about Renardo Green, maybe possibly traded Renardo Green. Let's talk about Greg Newsome II. Not his best season last year with Jacksonville. Did have 29 tackles, had an interception, 6 pass deflections. Not a bad season as well. They got some dogs in Jacksonville. They already brought back Montaric Brown. There's no way they're bringing back Greg Newsome as well. He was drafted by the Browns. Now he's with the Jags. Now he's a free agent. What are your thoughts on this young fella?
Listen, I don't know why Cleveland traded him. He's solid in Cleveland. I like him. It would be a great addition. I mean, if I'm correct, he plays inside outside. I'm not going to say
inside outside. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he gives you that versatility to play inside outside. But I mean, he's young. I got no problem bringing him in. Listen, we need all the help we can get right now. So,
because you're looking at what Darrell.
Damn.
Yeah, you're looking at Darrell Luter Jr., Renardo Green. I'm just thinking of some of the guys. We already know Demo's the lock. And so it gets interesting after that. It gets a little interesting after that. Upton Stout, obviously, he's going to be your nickel back. So it gets a little interesting after that. I think the Niners need to add more depth to the secondary, if I'm not mistaken. They need to add some more depth to the secondary.
I agree.
Yeah. Who do you guys feel like the Niners need at corner? Do they need a corner? Should they? Let me ask you this. Should the Niners go corner or should they go safety?
I think they should go safety. They sniffed around several corners in free agency, and they missed out on 2 of them. One, they were probably outbidded. Pierre from Pittsburgh went to...
I don't think Pierre from Pittsburgh... Oh, he did get signed.
Yeah, Pierre from Pittsburgh, I think, went to Minnesota.
And then Montaric Brown is back with the Jags.
Resigned before free agency started, so that's irrelevant.
Okay.
And now they're just like... I put in another Niners chat, like just people like that they reached out to this one. What are you just fucking reaching out to reach out? Like, come on, like
reach out. Yeah,
it's just so frustrating. But they do need another piece in the secondary. Younger, more athletic, faster. The common denominator for the whole roster. It seems like I would say. Right now, with a gun to my head, they definitely need speed and safety and a better, pure, true center fielder coverage safety. That's what they need.
Hey. Jack says the 49ers are the Goodwill Team Thrift Store. We're just different. We're different. Shout out to Cal-415. Get wide receivers, which is going to lead us into our next segment, Tony, because now we got to talk about some offensive targets. Before I get into these wide receivers, do you think the Niners are going to look to sign a tight end, or are they going to rock out with Farrell, figure out a contract with Tonjes, potentially draft a player because K. Otten is back, Isaiah Likely is going to the Giants, Noah Fant is available, but nobody wants him because he's just a receiving vertical deep threat. Like, what do you think they're going to do with this tight end position before we talk about these other offensive weapons at the wide receiver position?
If it was up to me, well, obviously it's not. I would be on the phone calling Charlie Kohler right now as a free agent from Baltimore. Get him into San Francisco. I think he'll help. But I don't know what their plan is. Curl got re-signed.
Yeah, he got re-signed. Yeah.
I would definitely bring Tonjes back.
Got to bring Tonjes back. Figure out a deal. He's a restricted free agent. They got to figure out a deal with him. Get him back in here. He'll be our best receiving tight end that we have ready to go on the roster. George Kittle, if he's not ready to return from the injury. So we'll see what happens. We got a question about Jonnu Smith, who's available as a free agent. Would you go after a guy like Jonnu Smith?
Sure, I would add it. I mean, I think he had a very solid year. Not
last year, deal.
But I think he had a great year in this type of offense with Miami.
On
a 1-year deal with no problem.
1-year deal. That's what I'm looking for. That would be perfect. Aging guy. You know what I mean? All right, offensive weapons, Tony. Let's get to these guys. I'm excited. I got 3 wide receivers. Let's start with my number 1 wide receiving target. It's not Alec Pierce. He got resigned. He was going to be it anyway. But you can get a guy who had 55 receptions, 724 yards last year. You can get a guy that gives you Alex Pierce vibes. I don't know if the speed is the same. They say it is. I think he was a 4.4 guy. I could look it up. But Romeo Doubs would give Kyle Shanahan what he needs as an X receiver. And I think he can play the X, he can play the Y, he can play outside, he can play inside. I think that's what Kyle Shanahan covets as a wide receiver. Let's talk about Doubs. What are your thoughts on Mr. Romeo Doubs? And I can't wait to hear what your take is because he has been reported to be the main target for the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, here's the deal. This is a very important position for the Niners. They're down to bare bones. I think Jennings is gone. So here's the situation. Before free agency started, I like Doubs. I mentioned Doubs on I think your show or Mike's show, nothing but Niners, one or the other. And I said this should be the target specifically because he played in the system. He knows what's expected from the wide receivers in this system. Kyle Shanahan's not going to have to coddle him because he knows what's expected from the wide receiver position in his scheme. So with that being said, I think he should have been the guy. If they sign him, I'd be happy. I mean,
would that satisfy the free agency for Tony? If they sign a guy like Romeo Doubs, would you close your book and be like, all right, man, we're good. We made our splash. We're done.
I mean, if you call Doubs a splash, there's a problem. He's not a splash. He's adding a receiver. You still need to address it in the draft.
In the draft.
But the problem is we're so decimated with our roster, with injuries. You need to add pieces, right? And I will tell you this. This team has a pretty solid track record of adding middle-tier players over the duration of me being a fan. Like, I remember when the Niners went out and signed a gentleman by the name of Ray Brown from the Washington, at the time, Redskins. Everyone was like, who the hell is this bum? They just gave this guy 5 years, $13 million. Oh, he's going to play a tackle. He's going to play this. He's going to play that. The guy came out and solidified and locked down the left guard spot for probably 8 years. And he was no top-tier free agent. He was that middle to lower class free agent. Derek Smith from Washington, a linebacker. Like Roy Barker, when they signed him from Minnesota. No one even knew who Roy Barker was. He had 3 consecutive years of 10-plus sacks. So the thing is this. If they do their true quote-unquote due diligence, they should be finding these middle-tier guys that have to be fits for what they're looking for at their needs. Like their skill set has to match what they're looking for. And they could come away with a player or two this year. Hopefully they bring in Doubs. It helps add a piece to the offense, and it solidifies one of the spots on the wide receiver core because other than Ricky Pearsall, what do we have? You don't know what Jalen Watkins is. You don't know what Cowings is.
Yeah. Jordan Watkins. Yep.
I'm sorry, Jordan. And another guy, like even Jalen Nailor. That's why I said it because I'm thinking of him too. Jalen Nailor. I think he could come in and add to this offense. I don't think, and this is one of the reasons why I was like, I don't think that the Niners are going to be in on Pierce. I think the Niners are scarred from spending big money on wide receivers. And you could thank the situation with Ayuk with that. But again, I don't think Kyle in his head thinks he needs that. Would he like that? Sure. But that's a luxury when you're dealing with a salary cap and free agency, as you could see.
That's why you go draft it. Let's talk about Jalen Nailor because you mentioned him.
And you supplement a player like this who you feel could take that next step in his development in his career and in this offense. Again,
I agree. Deep speed
projection.
Vertical speed threat. You want somebody. This is the Jacob Cowing. We don't know what we're going to get from Cowing, but you know what you will get from a guy like Jalen Nailor, right? You know what you're going to get. 29 receptions, 444 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's explosive. He's a speed threat. Jacob Collins was a 4.3 guy. Jalen Nailor's a 4.3 guy. But he's proven that he can get down the field I wouldn't be surprised if the San Francisco 49ers, Tony, go after 2 wide receivers for less money to
I agree.
bolster up the wide receiving room. And
I
so
think it's these two.
Doubs, Nailor could be the 2 guys.
So let's just say hypothetically, he signed. Let's just say he signed for $30 million. I think for $38 million, you could lock down, or $35 million, you could lock down these 2 guys.
Bam. There's your wide receiver room.
Your wide receiver core. You have Pearsall, and then you have Watkins. You have Cowing. You have those pieces in place.
You have DeMarcus
Robinson. What are they? Younger, cheaper, faster.
Yeah. Listen. I don't disagree with that. I got a third guy I'm going to add into that equation very shortly. But yes, Wan'Dale Robinson has agreed with a deal with the Tennessee Titans. Wan'Dale Robinson going to the Titans. 4 years, $70 million. Golly.
Because of Daboll, I think. That was big time Daboll.
Hey, man. He's going to be a Titan. Yeah. So, all right. I got one more receiver for you, Tony. And he's a newly added free agent. Darnell Mooney, another speedy guy. Another guy that fits kind of like the other 2 guys we just talked about. 72 targets, 32 receptions, had a TD last year. Was kind of big. He dealt with some injuries last year for sure, but he's not your X, but definitely would be your wide receiver 2 kind of supplement guy that you could use on the football field. Let's talk a little bit about this particular young fella right here, Darnell Mooney.
Again, I don't know too much about him. I'm not going to lie, because I really didn't focus on him because he was just cut, like just recently. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really get to jump in and do my due diligence on him, as the Niners would say. But anything I remember he used to play for Chicago, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I remember he's a speedster, right?
4.38.
Yeah. So I welcome him with open arms. He's speed, bro.
No, I agree, because these are guys that are proven. See, there's a difference between Jacob Cowing's 4.38 speed and a Darnell Mooney's 4.38 speed.
But how about this?
The production is what I'm saying.
What good is this 4.38 speed when he has 2 bad hammies?
I know. Listen. That's why I'm saying health and production. We've seen what Darnell Mooney has been able to do throughout his tenure in the NFL, right? In his career, right? Yep. Jacob Cowing has yet to start his career. Now, that doesn't mean his hamstrings aren't fixed and they're ready to go, but they're hammies, man. And usually when you got some bad hammies, man, you got to take a lot of time to allow the rubber band, man, to get its elasticity back so that they can work properly, man. Like, it's tough, man. It's tough. Hamstring injuries are some of the toughest injuries to deal with because they're nagging. Oh man, Jahan Dotson to the Falcons. Which is, do you see the trick where I'm going? We just talked about Darnell Mooney being let go from the Falcons, and who did they replace him with? Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
Same type of player. Speedy, young. They went younger, but they're replacing speed with speed. You can't not have speed. And I think that's what Tony's alluding for. You got to get younger, you got to get faster, and you got to find a way to get better. And that's what the Niners are going to do. That we're hoping that's what they're going to do. Addressing in free agency. All right, Faithful, would you take Romeo Doubs as wide receiver? Let's count. Would Romeo Doubs be wide receiver 3? So I have him as wide receiver 3. Would he be now? Wide? I mean, I got Ricky Pearsall as wide receiver 1, and I got DeMarcus Robinson as wide receiver 2. Forget about that mofo.
I think Doubs will come in and compete for 1 and 2.
I'm saying, listen, right now, I got him as 3.
I would say 2.
You got him as 2. Okay.
I would say 2 definitely, and I think he would fight for 1.
I think DeMarcus Robinson made his stamp here. He'll be coming into a camp this year. He's not going to be. He came into a camp last year, but he was suspended for the first 4 games.
100%.
I think the fight is on. You know what I'm saying? I think Ricky Pearsall will still be 1. But does it come? It comes down to what they play, right? So, like, you're talking about Doubs being an X receiver. So, and that's a good question for a Niner faithful out there. He says, well, which wide receiver is going to play the X? I feel like they all can. I think that Doubs will play it the best. That's my take on that one.
I agree.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see how this all pans out. Tony, this was fun, man. I like doing these little fun exercises. How ironic or crazy is that we did a whole hour show and the Niners ain't do shit.
How sad is that?
I was so nervous. I was like, I hope they pick somebody off my list. I hope that player doesn't go to a different team while we're doing this live show. I was like, oh, can't talk about that guy. How crazy is the 49ers?
Is that?
Bro, they're the worst, man. They're the worst. They just work on their own freaking time.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's more of three scenarios? One, Kyle saying he don't need top-notch players. He can do what he has. You think it's more Kyle of being overconfident in his offense and his knowledge and his ability to script and get the most out of his players, which he has done, and he's done very well offensively.
I got to hear the other two scenarios.
You think it's that the Niners and Parag and the Yorks don't want to compete with these free agent contracts? Or do you think, thanks to certain content creators, not yourself, not in the circle,
I know where you're going, bro.
this bullshit with the substation is becoming an issue?
So, are you done with your scenarios? Because
yeah, it was three.
Okay, can I tie all three into one? Because it's a bit of everything. All right. Now I don't know how much that substation stuff is for real or for not for real, but once you get it into your head, it's for real. Like mind over matter all the time. Like once you think the substation is giving you X-rays and gamma rays and you turn it into Incredible Hulk and shit, like that shit's gonna start to happen in your head. Right? Like and
100%.
So I believe some players, bro, aren't trying to experience that. I mean, hell, players are probably mad when they got to come out here and play. So, yeah, that could be a little bit of it. And for the content creators that put that stuff out there and blew that up and made that a story and made that a thing, hey, man, I hope you enjoyed the clicks, the likes, the views, and all that good stuff. At the end of the day, I'm thinking that the Niners. So this is why I'm going to tie it into part two. So that was 3. 2, this is where York comes in. York's going to have to put up a little bit more money, bro. Like, listen, York's going to have to say, all right, man, I know we got this issue here. I know we got these stories going on here, but I'm willing to spend a little bit more money within the cap, right? Within the cap, within my reach of the cap. Like, you got to stay in the rules of the cap without breaking any rules for sure. He's limited. You know what I'm saying? This isn't even about dead money at this point. This is about the cap. So they got to figure out how to work that. But they might have to overpay is what I'm trying to say. And that's not really on Jay York. That's just the cap. The cap is the cap. And then it comes down to Kyle Shanahan, where I think he does feel he's the greatest teacher, philosopher on earth. And I think feels like he's Jesus and can turn, water into house wine. I really do. But there were years where he didn't feel that way because of the money that they had to spend when they did go out and just get free agents. So I think it all ties into one. I think the Niners' plan is they went younger, they drafted guys, they got to find a way to let those guys on the football field to develop, but they also want to compete for a Super Bowl, and the older guys that they have, their time is running out. So Trent Williams' clock is ticking. Fred Warner's clock is ticking. George Kittle clock is ticking. Like them, the older guys, right? And so we're trying to get it done. So I'm putting all three together. I hope that sort of answers your question, but it's a tough situation for Kyle.
Here's my thing, okay? It's 2 parts. Everyone today has these 2 items in their life, near them, around them. And to say, oh, well, it's the substation. Wayne, it's 2025. See this thing? This is the worst thing for you.
Oh, I know.
Okay? And if you're going to sit here because you're telling me these guys don't have this on them 24/7, but the substation's causing injuries and those 5G towers are perfectly normal.
Yeah, between this, the blue light.
I don't like that. But my thing is this. They need to close doors and they need to sit down and make a decision, and it needs to come fast. Because like you said, their window's open, but these players are starting to hit their peak. If they don't want to pay,
move on.
They hit a financial reset last year, hit a roster reset this year. You trade. I'm telling you, I think the Fred Warner shit is legit. I really do.
It can be.
It keeps popping up. Like it's look at that. Jalen Nailor went to the
Raiders.
To the Raiders.
All right, man. GIA, thanks for that. Over on Twitter, over on X. It's all right. Nailor's gone. Damn it. I almost ended the show. We should have ended the show 2 minutes ago. My list would have been safe.
Mine's not. I got news for you.
Well, listen.
God, $35 million. I could just imagine what
was his contract?
3 years, $35 million.
That's a big. That's a lot. So wait a minute. That's 10 a year.
Yeah, 12, that's not bad.
Yeah. So what do you think? All right, let's talk about that real quick. If he got that, what do you think Doubs' contract going to be? 3 year what?
I'd say 45. The 40 to 45.
Okay.
I think Doubs is more of a proven player. He's more experience. But I mean, I don't know, bro. I really don't know what to think with this team anymore.
Look, we just got to sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, get some Doritos, chill out, man. Enjoy all the content that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Here's my final thoughts, guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel for sure. Join the Breezie Bunch crew, man. Just click on that join button. And don't forget to like it, right? Don't forget to like it. Now, we're going to get free agents on this team.
Yeah, they're going to sign someone as soon as you end this show.
Right. Ben Bartz will be signed at some point today. Thomas Morstead will be signed at some point today. We need the punter. We need the punter. But just stick around for the breaking news right here on the Wayne Breezie channel, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the episode. Until the next time, baby, keep it faithful to the Bay. You know how we do. We just going to rock out, fall back, and just wait and see what happens, man. It's the 49er way. Wait till the draft. This ain't nothing. Wait till the draft when we draft a kicker in round 2. Love y'all, man. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.